YouTube, what's up? This new Fury build changed how I feel about melee builds. Typically, I've played caster characters as they are more efficient, but this build was a really nice change of pace and playstyle. I didn't even need teleport in the build because the movement speeds on this druid are insane. I will go over the gear and the stat points used in the build. I will talk about the Merc options and why I chose the Act 5 Mercenary. Then I will go through some gameplay with Players 8 Cows, Players 8 online games, and Players 8 Diablo. Timestamps and links will be in the description below. Okay, we have Eth, Death, Decapitator, 396 enhanced damage, indestructible, bonus to attack rating, 7 mana stolen per hit, 50% chance of crushing blow, and 49% deadly strike. Metamorphosis for the Mark of the Bear and the Mark of the Wolf, 5 to Shapeshift, 3 to Fury, and cannot be frozen. High Lords for the +1 skills, increase attack speed, and 37 to deadly strike, along with lightning resist. Hustle, this is so that he can run really fast, 40% increase attack speed, faster hit recovery, and 6 to evade is nice, and then 10 all res. Gore Rider boots, obviously, 30 faster run walk, 15 chance of crushing blow, 15 chance of deadly strike, and open wounds. We have an attack rating and 8 life leech ring with cold, poison, and poison link reduced. String of Ears, I picked String of Ears for the 8 life leech on it, as well as the damage reduction and the magic damage reduction. I felt like it was safer, and I didn't really need the life from Ferdungos. And then a Raven Frost for the attack rating and 20 dex, and cold absorb. It cannot be frozen is redundant because you have it on Metamorphosis. And then Laying of Hands for the increased attack speed, and then a 350 damage to demons, which is all bosses and a lot of the monsters, and then Fire res of 50. Then on swap, we have a 654 CTA and then an Eth Spirit. We have the Bone Breaks under. Grand Charms, we have 8, 75, 10, 64, 40, 7, 8, 61, 10, 64, 40, 10, 69, 40, and then a Shapeshift with fire damage and a Shapeshift with lightning damage. For a Torch, we have a 20-20 Torch and a 20-19-10 Annie. And then for all the small charms, there are 3 faster from one walk for all of them and 3 to max damage and 20 to attack rating. So 3-3-20, 3-3-20, 3-3-20, 3-3-20, 3-3-20, and then the last one is 3-20, 15 life. So all you need is 146 strength for the Monarch, and then I put some points into dexterity to boost the attack rating, and then everything else into vitality. You don't need a whole lot in dex in the build, it's just to kind of boost attack rating for bosses. Res is not that great, but you're doing so much life leech that it really doesn't matter. For the Merc setup, using a Cure and a Demon Head, Eth +1-2 Cleansing Aura, faster hit recovery, and the poison resist. Using a Hustle so that he can run really fast, and he's got an increased attack speed and hit recovery as well, and then the 10 all res. So using a Hustle weapon for the level 1 Fanaticism Aura, which increases your damage and the attack speed, but it also gives him a chance to cast Burst of Speed, which really helps him keep up. And then Lawbringer for the chance to decrep, as well as 7 life leech. And for the skill tree, nothing into elemental, and then we max out Werewolf, max Lycanthropy, 1 into Werebear, max Feral Rage, 1 point into Rabies, and then max Fury. For the summoning skills, we put 1 point into Oak Sage, and then we max out Heart of the Wolverine. There's 7 points left over, so you can have this build maxed at level 92. There's nothing really else that you can put the 7 points into. I just have them unused at the moment. For the Merc choices, the first Merc I tested was the Act 1 Merc with Faith Bow on it. You get the high level Fanaticism Aura and Inner Sight. You did get the fastest attack speed and some lower defense, but it wasn't very helpful, in my opinion. But she would often get left behind, so she wasn't really helping. And then she would die actually more often than not. And then if your Merc dies, they're really providing 0 support. So second, I tested the Act 2 Mercenary with Reaper's Toll and the Might Aura. Again, the Merc would be left behind, and he wouldn't be able to really proc decrep at all before I was able to kill stuff. So it wasn't really helpful. And you lose the faster attack speed breakpoint. However, I think it is the best versus bosses because of that 33% chance to proc decrep was pretty consistent, but otherwise I felt like it was mostly useless. And then the third setup that I tried was the Pride Mercenary with Might Aura. It did give me the highest damage. This helped a little bit more with the Aura, as the Aura was pretty consistent, again giving me more damage. But again, the Merc was often left behind, and other than the concentration aura, it wasn't really providing much help at all. So you can see that he's not able to really help. Versus player 1 bosses, though, it was pretty helpful because of the extra damage, but in P8, it wasn't as much help as a decrep proc was. So finally landing on the Act 5 mercenary with Hustle, and the Fanaticism Ore to hit the fastest attack speed breakpoint, Lawbringer for the chance to proc decrep, and because he was wearing the Hustle armor, in addition to the chance to proc burst of speed on the Hustle weapon, the Merc was really able to keep up with you. So he was always helpful. And his decrep procs were usually helping to clear up to P8. So here is player 7, I believe, player 7 cows. This is in a public game, so you can see kind of how it works. You can see how he can run around fast and the mercenary keeps up with them. And in cows, you can actually help out with clear speeds because you can run pretty fast in here. And it's a lot of open space. So players 8 cows, not a huge deal. Pretty fun to do with the Fury Druid. You can hear that decrep proc going off quite often, so it certainly helps out. Then here's players 8 Chaos Sanctuary in an online game. So you can see here that being a Fury Druid, not quite the fastest run speed right now without being charged up with Feral Rage. You're kind of lagging behind, so you don't provide so much help unless you are raged up. Versus the boss, though, you can provide some help to your party, but again, in a player's 8 game, everybody's doing a ton of damage anyways. So here you can see I feel helpful. And then here is a player's 8 party online Baal running. So Baal running, you can provide some help because of the Baal waves. You're not left behind, so you can always provide some support. Fury is pretty much single target. However, versus Baal, you can see here that it's a little bit tough in a party. Not having the ability to teleport is kind of a big deal. So you can see I have to run over here, and by the time I get here, Baal is like almost dead. So I get a few hits in before Baal dies. And then here we have a player's 8 solo Diablo kill. I have to let my Merc keep up so that he can try and help me in this. I cleared it before with my Nova Sorc, and then I left it for myself. So you can see here, once the decrep proc happens, P8 Diablo is no big deal. So yeah, that's it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to do so below. Thanks for watching. Up next is Ubers with the Fury Druid. We'll see you in the next one.